Hey guys, how's it going? Josh here with Plan B Native Plant Nursery, and I thought I would show you what's going on this spring so far. Today I'm actually just loading up a bunch of plants so I can go to a presentation later for a garden club and also sell some plants there. It always feels a little bit weird because it feels like I'm doing a 60-minute advertisement, but is what it is. Getting native plants out there is the goal after all. But anyways, I had some really good germination this year. And so far we've repotted around 3,000 seedlings. I'm probably going to finish up repotting this week sometime, but I'll show you what I've grown so far and some of the new stuff. One of the cool things I'm having this year is garter snakes consistently hanging around. They really like the soil pile. I guess it retains some warmth during the day. See right here, there's one just hanging out there. Yeah, they're basically here every day. I see like a few of them. Usually there's like 3 to 5 of them hanging around the soil pile during the day. And when it warms up, they seem to go about their business and maybe start hunting, which I'm quite happy to see them around, as they're great pest control. Things like slugs and stuff like that they'll eat, so definitely happy to have them. They probably like this area because it's warm. There's bugs around, and there's some cover for them to crawl into too when they need it. Some potatoes that grow in there out of my compost pile. Oh, there's another one right here actually. I think these guys are northwestern garter snakes, if I'm not mistaken. Don't know where his head is. Oh, there he is. Hello. Not gonna lie, some people don't like snakes, but I think they're adorable. Yes, we've been busy repotting things. Lots of new stuff going this year. I don't know, let's look at some. I got a couple little conifers to grow. These guys are Douglas firs. I had a few more that germinated, but I think a bird came and just they like to come and stomp around and in the open soil of some of the cell trays. I think they kind of just killed some of the baby Douglas firs that were growing. So I only have 2, but that's okay. It's a good little test run. I also have one little Sitka spruce here. Got a bunch of Acer macrophyllums started from seed this year, and they've actually put on a lot of growth already. I could probably sell that pretty quickly if I want to. Got some mock orange, some Philadelphus louisii. First time growing that one from seed too, and it's doing quite well. I'm excited for that one. Got some Prunus ebergranata, or bitter cherry. I haven't had that one for a couple years, so that's nice. They're growing quite quickly as well. And one of the main things I did differently this year, especially with a lot of the fruit-producing shrubs, one of the biggest things I did this year that made the big difference is, as soon as I collected the seeds, I basically planted them right away, so that they had a period of warm stratification after collecting, as well as the cold stratification. And that made germination so much better for a lot of them. Besides the rubus, I pretty much planted everything else right away. And yeah, that made a huge difference for germination for a lot of these species, like the bitter cherry, snowberry, trying to think what else, osoberry, and yeah, quite a few of the fruit producing shrubs. Just plant them right away. Like even the snowberry, I was actually really surprised these guys germinated from seed, because I was expecting them to need to sit in the soil for a couple warm and cold stratifications. And I didn't get massive germination, so some of them probably will wait till next year. But I got a good amount of them that germinated still, maybe 30 in total. This one, I don't even know what happened to this one. For some reason that one just is not doing well. Also things like ocean spray, actually I've grown a few times, but I think the key to this guy is also planting it right away, not letting the seeds dry out. I don't think the seeds store well. I could be wrong, but yeah. Also, I got some cow parsnip, some Heracleum maximum here, and some thimbleberry, which looks kind of similar. These guys, I've grown some before, but I've always had pretty poor germination. And this year I just had crazy germination, so I think that might have been an issue with the seeds, possibly. But they're doing quite well. They're biennial, so they won't flower till next year. But I'll probably sell them pretty soon, or start selling them pretty soon. What else do we have that's interesting? We got some beach pea, or Lathyrus japonicus here, which is also a new one. Here's one I planted the previous year, has 0 germination. But these guys, I actually scarified them. I gave them a little cut this year, and they germinated this year. I actually had left the tray from last year too that I planted. And this year that tray came up as well. So they either need some prolonged planting time, or you can get them to germination sooner by scarifying them, which is pretty cool. So I got these guys, which are a year old now, which is bare stem desert parsley, or trying to think of it, Lomatium nudicoli. I was actually really surprised they flowered this year. I thought they would actually take an additional year to get that far, but I'm happy to see that as well. Pretty cool. Yeah, lots of cool species. A couple I grew last year, but most of them went to my seed orchard, like this sticky cinquefoil, as well as some Penstemon serralatus that I have growing. So those will be for sale pretty soon as well. What else is going good here? Oh, another new one here. Some white bark raspberry, Rubus leucodermis. Here's some of the Penstemon over there. You can see got woolly sunflower. You know, all things these are things I've grown before. Got some good germination from Nootka rose this year as well. Happy to see the ball tip rose there. These guys are very slow growing, and they are common harebells, or Campanula rotundifolia. Kind of surprised how slowly they grow, but hopefully they do okay. This one's doing nice. Another new one, got Spirea betulifolia, also growing not too slowly, but slower than a lot of other things. That's one I'm also excited for. I don't know, I got a lot of new stuff I planted this year. Some different grasses down there. These guys are a really cool one. They are a small little succulent called russet hair saxifrage. I'll try to get a clear shot here. Okay, that's about as clear as it's gonna get. These guys are Micrantheus virginia, and they're really cool little succulent you can find growing around like rocky outcrops. See some of the leaves down there. Even before I repotted them into these like slightly bigger containers, some of them were already starting to flower just in their like tiny little cell trays, which is kind of neat. Also got some Oregon stonecrop. These guys are also started from seed, which is the first time I've done them from seed, and they actually grow quite easily, as you can see. Actually, like several of them growing in each of these containers, but they're doing quite well. They're looking very nice. Let's see what else is cool here. But you can see we've been pretty busy. Hoping to finish up repotting this week, and then it'll be a little bit more chill after that. These guys, which is Kinnikinnick, or Arctostaphylos uviursi. You know, everything I read for these guys said they need acid stratification, and everywhere recommended using like sulfuric acid. I have no idea where to find that. I've tried. I found old threads online saying you get it in like drain cleaner, was high in sulfuric acid, but none of the stuff I could find seemed to have sulfuric acid in it. But I did find a random thread talking about how you could use citric acid, so I tried that out, and it seemed to have worked pretty well for both the Kinnikinnick and Devil's Club as well. You know, I got maybe half a tray of germination, around 30 of the Kinnikinnick germinated out of a tray of like 72 cells. The Devil's Club, I had a lot less germination. I think I only got around 12 or 13 seedlings, which I'll show you over here. Out of like a couple trays I planted. But I've repotted them now. That one's doing quite nicely there. That guy I repotted first just to test. But this is a good test batch because I do hear they grow quite slowly. So we'll see how fast they grow and if it's worth like growing more in the future. What else can I show you guys? I grew a lot of the different lily species. Got some trillium down here, some great camas, some white fawn lilies, which are kind of dying back now. I don't know if that's normal, to be honest. They might be okay, and they might just come back next year. Got some fool's onion growing here. Unfortunately, on this side of the tray, I let it get too dry at one point and it kind of died off. Got some western tiger lilies or checker lilies that are dying back as well. I think that's pretty normal at this stage. We also have some 1 year, these guys I actually planted last year. You see the great camas on the left here. It's a slightly bigger blade of grass now than last year. And the checker lilies, they're kind of dying back as well, but they look like you know, they're not just a blade of grass now. They're like out like one leaf, so that's cool. I don't know. It's cool to see like how long they take to grow and stuff like that. And I'm trying to think what else can I show you. Yeah, I don't know what the key is to Saskatoon berry. This is my first year I've gotten any to germinate. And out of these 2 trays, I only got 2, 4, 6, 8 of them. And there might have been a couple others that didn't quite make it, but I'm not sure what the key is to these guys yet. I've tried them a few times, but yeah, just not quite sure. Still requires some troubleshooting, apparently. Also, these guys are another cool one. Arbutus menziesii, arbutus trees. Another one I'm excited for. They're also apparently pretty slow growing, so we'll see how they do. These guys in these 2 rows, I actually started them in 1 gallon pots. Whereas these guys I actually just transplanted from the cell trays I showed in a previous video. Unfortunately, a lot of them also got eaten by slugs. But that's okay. This is a good test batch to start out with, at least. And let's see. Here we got some different annuals as well. These guys I'm actually really excited for. These guys are Triodonis perfoliata. You got some Plectritis macrocera, as well as some Plectritis congesta. You know, usual Colomia, grandiflora. I forget the Latin for this one, but slender phlox. You know, more yellow monkey flower as usual. Some Collinsia parviflora, as well as Claytonia siberica. Lots of good stuff, lots of new stuff. Some little fringe cups down here. Some of the more shade-loving plants up front here. Okay, these guys are also new. Acer glabrum, or Rocky Mountain maple. Also, tons of germination from both the tall Oregon grape and these guys, dull Oregon grape, or Berberis nervosa. Some foam flower. Another one the slugs targeted pretty heavily. Foam flower here. There's also some vanilla leaf, which also seems to be pretty slow growing. I found out the key to these guys this year was planting the seeds right away. They don't store for long. So some swamp currant or Ribes lacustre. And Acer circinatum, or vine maple. I had only 3 of these guys germinate a previous year. I think it was last year. I repotted them and all of them just died. So I'm not sure why. I was really careful repotting them this year. Hopefully that makes a difference. I've repotted them about a week ago. They seem to be doing okay. So hopefully they stay healthy and happy. But yeah, that's a lot of the new stuff. So I guess, oh, actually one more thing here. These guys are Hooker's Fairy Bells, or Sartes hookeri. Similar to a lot of the lily species, this is all they're really going to do this year. Next year they'll probably come back a lot more vigorous, from what I've heard. But yeah, that's a lot of the new stuff I've been growing this year and repotting so far this spring. So I guess I'll show you out back and show you guys how some of the other beds are doing as well. Okay, here's our first bed out here. We got some of the Plectritis congesta. It's quite a nice flush going on. These beds are such a pain because the horsetail just keeps coming up through it and you have to keep on pulling it. Also got some Collinsia just starting to bloom a bit on this side of the bed. Pretty soon that's going to be looking quite nice though. I also have quite a few plants I've moved out here. Anything that is drought tolerant as well as deer tolerant I've moved out here, like the nodding onion, the showy milkweed. The only thing the deer really seemed to really like was the crabapple trees I moved out here, just for space, which is okay. No one, no one buys the crabapple trees, to be honest. But you know, within the day I moved them out here, the deer had come and eaten all the leaves, but they are actually recovering pretty okay. Also, a lot of seedlings I've moved out here that I think will be fine with the deer and rabbits. You know, anything with fuzzy leaves, they don't seem to like very much. Things like the yarrow, the western dock, they don't seem to care for. Cow parsnip, of course. Goldenrod, pearly everlasting, woolly sunflower. I got some Cooley's hedge nettle sitting out here too. The only thing I'm worried about that I might eventually come and eat is the salmonberry plants here. So we'll see. But the bed of stinging nettle, not doing too bad out here. Doing pretty well, looking good. Same with the bed of Cooley's hedge nettle. Planted these both in the fall, so I'm happy to see them coming up and doing pretty well. I gotta get out here pretty soon to do some weeding. Of course, got some of our lupine plants. I actually want to plant a bigger bed with more of these, probably this coming fall. We also got the camas blooming here, looking good. I sprayed it with this deer spray. Deer rabbit spray stuff. It's supposed to make them like smell and taste bad, so hopefully that keeps them away, because last year the rabbits literally ate like all the flowers from them. But last year it also seemed like we had just tons of rabbits around, whereas this year they don't seem to be like quite as crazy. But they're doing quite nicely here, except for this one patch in the center that seemed to have kind of died off for whatever reason, not sure why. But a lot of them are doing okay still, at least. Got the bed of blanket flower, which most of them survived. Some of them died off, so some of them I'll probably replant later in the year. The gumweed basically all survived and is doing really well here. Woolly sunflower, I had quite a bit of die off. I think it was just a bit too wet for it. Some of it survived though. This actually looks better than it actually is. So I grew way too many woolly sunflower seedlings, so I actually just plopped a bunch of the little plugs in here, and they've already rooted pretty well, so who knows, they might do well. I also just threw some of the western buttercup seeds in here too, just to see how they do and stuff. And we got the bed of Penstemon serratus back here, doing really well, just starting to make some buds as well. That one I'm excited to see it flower. And we also got the sticky cinquefoil here, the Drymocalis glandulosa, doing quite well as well. Lots of little like mining and sweat bees seem to like this species. And that's almost everything. Got a couple other beds back here. Some of the gumweed and pots I just have sitting out here. Already starting to flower very early. Probably got a head start being in the greenhouse for a bit. These guys I was actually starting to give up hope on. This was the Pacific silverweed. It's actually just starting to come up now. I thought they had all died while I had planted here, but they're finally starting to come back now. Quite a late start. As well as the springbank clover. Doesn't look like much, but it seems to be just starting to come up now a bit as well. So hopefully in the next month, we'll see more of that. Bed of goldenrod, of course, doing totally fine. And this bed we planted with cow parsnip seeds, and like I said, we had tons of germination this year. So the seeds I got this year seem to be really good. There's some weeds mixed in there too, but hard to weed everything and not weed out the parsnip seeds. But hopefully the cow parsnip will outcompete the other stuff. And last thing, of course, got the western dock, which is doing really vigorous this year, as well as it has the little Fragaria vesca woodland strawberries growing below it that were just volunteers that happened to be in the pots with the dock when I planted them. But they're actually doing great weed control, just like taking up space so other things don't get in there. So I'm pretty happy about that. So like, why not? But yeah, beds are doing pretty good out here for the most part. There's a few things that could be better, but yeah, I would say most of the things I planted in the fall have been pretty successful out here, which I'm happy to see. Definitely want to plant more this coming fall out here too. Expand it even more. But yeah, that's pretty much it that's going on right now. Nothing too crazy. Just trying to get past the busiest section of the year with repotting and everything, and then it'll be a little more chill. I can spend more time weeding out here and just doing all the little maintenance tasks. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the update, and take care. Peace.